Welcome to the Higher Level Podcast, guys. Obviously, this is a wee bit different than how we normally do it. We normally are in studio at the Higher Level gym, but with everything going on at the moment, we're doing it this way via Skype. As always, I'm joined by Higher Level head coach James Doolan. How's it going, James?
It's all right. It's about as good as it can be, I suppose.
It's with everything that's going on there. Is this for me? This is about the weirdest, craziest thing I've experienced in my life. Is it kind of similar for you? Just the way everything is in the country at the moment, in the world.
I keep getting that thing where I wake up in the morning and then I'm like, everyone's cool, and then I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm not going to work today, and I need to stay in the house pretty much.
It's strange. Like even just actually, it just happened at 8 o'clock. The people out applauding for the NHS, and that was quite surreal as well. Just seeing quite a lot. I don't know what it was like down where you live, but where I stayed, there was a lot of people out, and it was really nice to see. Actually, it was a wee bit uplifting, considering that you've been seeing the news recently.
It was cool. It was nice to kind of see people coming together and stuff, because the news and everything you read and stuff, the news is terrifying, and there's a lot of kind of fear mongering going on and stuff, and it was just kind of something kind of positive, I guess. Yeah,
like you're saying there, it's social media, for all the good it does. Sometimes I've gave up on it with reading today with the coronavirus, because you read one thing on there and you think, okay, it's not maybe as bad as it's been portrayed. Then you read another thing and it's like panic mode sets in as well. I've gave up on reading stuff on it. It's quite scary.
There's no middle ground with it. It's either this is overrated and blah blah blah, or we're all going to get it and it's going to be a catastrophe. So I've just I'm the same. I've stopped reading it because it was kind of caused me to panic a wee bit about certain things, but I was like, I just need to make sure I can take care of what I can take care of, type of thing.
I'm the same about it. It's just so easy to start panicking and stressing out, especially when I don't know if it's my worries the kids as well. That's what I get worried about. I worry about my kids, obviously, the family. I know so much about yourself. Don't know if you're the same.
I am with that, and more like my mum and Lindsay's mum and dad and stuff. They're a wee bit older and stuff like that. So, and obviously her, Lindsay as well. So it's a weird thing. It's like you start going through scenarios in your head, like if one person in the house is to get it, then I hope it's me and whatever else. But it's just kind of going to have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
Aye, that's it. I don't think it's kind of. I suppose the worry with all this stuff now is we've not really experienced anything like this in our lifetime. It's new. We've never experienced it, and it's something you would see in a film, no in real life, but it is actually happening. I think you've got no control of the situation, which for me is where I get worried as well, because I can't really do anything about it.
Aye, it's completely out the blue. It is like a film, like what you're saying, and it's a weird thing. I think even comparing it to just like the Spanish flu and all that, you can't compare anything just because of the rate of stuff spread now with transport and stuff like this as well. But you have to kind of have a wee bit of faith in the scientists that are trying to combat it, and the smart people running certain countries and whatever they're doing their best to kind of try and beat it, and you've got to kind of have a wee bit of faith that they'll figure it out, I suppose.
Well, that's it, and I think the thing, obviously, people are losing their lives, and there's a massive implication in people's health, but the other side of it is there's an economical side of this that side could impact us further down the line. For like you're a self-employed, you're a business owner. What sort of impact is this having on you? You're obviously your business.
I'm obviously self-employed. If this had happened maybe 2 years ago, I'd have been absolutely fine. I had money saved away for the new gym and stuff, but we're obviously I put a fair bit of money into the new place and stuff like that. So if it happened last year, I'd have been in more trouble. But It's going to affect me. Obviously, I've been keeping an eye on the chancellors coming out with the kind of the bill for the self-employed guys. I've applied for grants and stuff. I'm in a fortunate position where the landlord of the gym's actually one of my students. So I'm in a position a lot of guys on there really. There's a couple of guys in Scotland, like Adam Stevenson's just was due to open his gym there on Monday, so he's obviously put a bit of time and money into the place, and the poor guy's not even been able to get it opened on the planned opening night. And but everybody's going to be affected with financial stuff. Right now I've no idea what will happen with the gym, to be honest. I think a lot of our students are kind of coming together and still want to pay their monthlies and stuff. We've come up with a couple initiatives where, for the guys who are still paying monthly, we've sorted out a bunch of seminars to kind of pay them back. So we've got 2 seminars per month type of thing. So we've got Chris Shaw said he'll take a seminar. We've got Gary Christie and Paul McVeigh are going to take seminars, and then one of my pals for Glasgow, a guy Tommy Young, who's coached the European and World Champions, is going to take seminars for us. So we're going to try and pay back the guys that support the gym. We've been putting out daily kind of workouts between myself. I've been putting out like technical stuff, and then we've got 2 really good strength conditioning coaches. A guy Jonathan Payne, who'd worked with Billy Joe Saunders, who we've talked about before on the podcast, and a kid called Dean Hepburn, who's, I think he's in his honours year, he's sports science degree. So these guys have been putting out daily workouts for us as well, just to keep the students up together on social media groups, still training, and just to kind of let them know that we're still thinking about them. But it's a weird time, man.
As a coach, is this one of the most challenging? Well, as a gym owner, rather, I should say, is this the most challenging thing you've faced as a gym owner, or one of the most, rather?
This definitely is, because we've never really faced anything like it before. We've never had a threat to our business. Our business was always pretty solid. It grew at a rate that wasn't really massively risky. Like we went from hiring walls to a small gym to a big gym, and when we knew we had the student base for it, so it wasn't a risk at the time. But you can't kind of foresee things like this. But we're in the same boat as everybody else, so we'll just have to kind of deal with it, see what comes, and deal with it at the time.
I get the other things as well. When you step away from that, just the financial side of things and the health side, you've got guys like Danny Henry, who is still. What's the situation with Danny? Is there any word on his fight because of when it is? Is that officially still going ahead?
At this point in time, it is. I think it's the week after the Khabib and the Khabib fight, so I think they're planning on being back to normal by then. So the cards, they're actually still adding fights to that card now.
Yeah.
They just added Alan Patrick versus Frank Camacho. So they're still adding fights to it. So Danny's still training, but we're obviously not training how we'd kind of like to train.
Yeah. I guess the other thing, Danny's opponent's going to be facing the same situation as well, because this isn't a UK thing, this is a global thing. But how challenging has that been for you as a coach to try and prepare a fighter under these circumstances?
We kind of had an idea that the lockdown and stuff was coming, so what we did was we sparred a lot for 2 weeks. And then when the lockdown came into place, we've sent Danny away with strength conditioning programs, basically to get his weight down and just to make sure he's super fit. So he's been doing that. He's been keeping in touch with us, and he's kind of hitting all his targets with that. But it's the strangest kind of fight camp ever, really, because we don't know when. It looks like if the UK lockdown finishes in 3 weeks, like they've said it would, means Danny's got a week before he flies to America. The UFC is still sending him stuff to get his visa and stuff. So they're still obviously thinking this is happening. I think he's still got medicals and stuff to do, which could pose a problem. Try to get in and get all that stuff done when the kind of current state of play for the NHS is. Obviously, the guys are super busy and under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, there's sort of it almost feels like it's an uphill battle just to even get the fight, just for the current situation. And I don't know what you think about the government's 3 weeks shutdown. It feels to me like that might not happen. I feel like it may go longer. I don't know if you think the same, or if you think that's a realistic.
I'm not sure. There's still guys flying into the UK just now.
Yeah.
I know the travel ban's up in America April 12th, I think, for review, which would be a couple of weeks before. So it's like everything else now. We can only deal with what we can control. So right now we're having a makeshift fight camp. If the fight happens, until we know that the fight's not happening, then Danny has to prepare as if it is, because it's his first fight in a while. It's the first fight in his new contract. The timing of the fight before all this stuff was perfect for us. The opponent was perfect. So until we know otherwise, Danny's going to be training. I'd imagine the kid he's fighting's having the same issues as Danny.
Yeah. I guess the other thing as well, not just for Danny, but for his opponent, for any guys that are scheduled in that card, this must be mentally draining as well. That they're training for a fight that they know possibly might not happen. That must be. Do you feel that's something that could be mentally tough on a fighter as well?
Aye, it's more so the diet and stuff like that. But everyone's what the guys are going to struggle with now is just the lack of routine, and then even. So certain guys aren't self-motivated. They need to be in a gym and run about people to be motivated. I think, to be fair, Danny's the type of guy, if you ask him to do a workout, he's going to go and do it, and he'll give it 100%, his effort and stuff like that. But it's definitely going to be the strangest fight camp that most of these guys has done.
Yeah. And the other thing, Danny's got a fight scheduled, but we had Cage Warriors London, which ended up moving to Manchester. Luke Shanks had a massive opportunity. He was fighting for the title against Fadine, the Cage Warriors champion, who's obviously based out of France. That fight ultimately got pulled pretty late on. How difficult was that for Luke, just to find out that fight wasn't happening after all the effort and time he put into the camp?
It was a problem. We kind of got to a stage where it was like the odds of it not happening was getting greater and greater. But again, until we had it concrete, I was just drilling it into him. This is happening. And then I think it got to like the Monday or the Tuesday, and the French guys get knocked back at the airport. They just get told. Right. I think one of the French fighters actually arrived in the morning, and Luke had seen this guy's arrived in the country, blah blah blah. He's like, they must be getting in, and then I think they've got to the airport and get knocked back. I think there was a shut off time for the guys, so Ian Dean just called and said Fadine's not getting in the country. Fights off. He actually offered us a fight for Luke at bantamweight with Corey Tate, and I turned it down straight away. I was like, look, by this point, Luke was already under the bantamweight limit weight wise. I don't really want him jeopardising. I kind of Cage Warriors will just remake the world title fight once everyone hopefully gets back to normal, maybe June in London or whatever. But it means that he can still wait and get his world title fight. And Cage Warriors actually paid him as well, which was nice of them. But it was a blow for all of us. But in the grand scheme of things with everything else that's going on, it's not really that big a deal, to be fair.
Yeah. I guess that is the thing as well. You lose the title fight, but when you look around what's going on in the world, people are losing a lot more than title fights and belts, you know what I mean? So it does put things in perspective. And looks get the talent. He's got everything he needs to do extremely well in this sport. So his opportunities are going to come back. I guess that's the main thing you're trying to drill into him. That this opportunity will come around.
Well, Cage Warriors already said it will anyway, so it's just a case of letting everything else get fixed and then take care of it when it comes.
That's it. And the other thing, you're in lockdown yourself. What tips can you give anybody watching this? What's keeping you sane at the moment?
Netflix. I've been doing bits and pieces with kettlebell and stuff. Still putting out kind of daily workouts. I've been watching a lot of fights, reading a bit. I think trying to get some kind of routine it seems to be the best thing. Just getting a routine and try and stick to it. I was restricted with obviously no meant to be outside too much now and stuff like that. So I've just been trying to take the dogs a good walk and do my kettlebell workout, read, hanging about with my son quite a bit, and then just watching some daft TV that I probably wouldn't get the time to watch.
Yeah. I think that's the thing I suppose you can take, because we're normally, I know for myself, I'm normally at the house 10, 12 hours a day. So by the time I get in, I maybe get an hour with the kids. So you do get the opportunity to spend all day with them. No, that in itself can be a challenge as well. Sometimes having the kids, and obviously if you've got dogs and stuff like that as well, can be a bit more challenge. It's maybe a bit easier being at work sometimes.
Aye, I think a lot of guys are getting a bit of a glimpse into what it's like being the mum in the house with the kids for the majority of the day and stuff. It's not easy. But
what do you think at the end of this? So we've got this lockdown. So do you think we're going to have? I'm thinking we're going to have a big baby boom or a big divorce boom, or a bit of both.
It'll cancel each other out. I think it'll be 50-50. Yeah.
Aye, or some unlucky couples will have a combination of the both of them.
Aye. As long as you commit to it with some new skills. Lindsay's been trying to teach me how to cook, which has been a challenge for her. But I think as long as you use it productively.
What sort of things? What's been the toughest thing she's tried to teach you to cook yet?
What did I do yesterday? I made the cheesy bean toast things yesterday. Nearly set the kitchen on fire. But
how is that the toughest thing you've tried to cook? A cheesy beano?
I done like a roast dinner the day. It was better the day, but small steps. It's white belt level cooking for me.
That's it. You just need to earn that first stripe in a white belt, and at least you know there's progression.
Aye, I nearly made that rang as well. To be fair,
right, how did you manage to make that rang?
Apparently, I never toasted one of the sides of the bread enough or something. I don't know, but it tasted alright.
So, right, this is my understanding. By the way, I'm a qualified chef, just to get that out there. I used to be anyway. So you toast one side of the bread, turn it around, put the beans on, put the cheese in it, and then toast that side.
Aye.
So it's kind of a 3-step thing. It's not that challenging. But you're obviously talented in other areas, so I think we can let that one slide.
I'll be a blue belt level by the time I get this lockdown out the way. It'll be a good one.
So we're just going to go on the phones now, and we're going to speak to Jim Alers. Guys, welcome to the Higher Level Podcast. Coming straight to us from Florida, we have Jim Alers coming on the show, UFC veteran, Cage Warriors veteran as well, and currently duking it out in the bare knuckle world and doing extremely well for him at the moment. Listen, thanks very much for coming on the show, Jim. We appreciate it.
Of course, man.
A little bit different for us in the show. Obviously, I'm having to do things from my home at the moment because we're not just in Scotland, globally. We're in lockdown, as we've been discussing off camera. One thing I wanted to ask you about is something. We see the health implications of what's going on at the moment, but there is other effects economically for yourself as a gym owner. How difficult a time is this? Because you're effectively having to close the business down.
Yeah, so at first, me being relatively a newer gym owner too, I've only been open about a year and a half, and I was pretty worried. But I have about a little bit over 100 students, and I can tell you, of course, every single one of my students' names. I can tell you what they do for a living. I can tell you their spouses' names, their kids' names, because I've made that personal connection with each and one of my students. I'm not just someone who's just trying to take their money and they're just another member. I really care for them. And I understand that this is affecting everybody, Yeah. And I didn't get into the gym business to make money. I'm not saying I'm the richest guy in the world, but I was smart with my fight money. And, I got into the gym business because I enjoy it. I enjoy teaching. I want to give back to the sport that gave me so much. So, for me, I kind of thought about what I needed to survive, to keep the doors open in the gym. I'm not thinking about profit right now. I feel if you are a gym owner and you're thinking about profit right now, that is very selfish of you. And I think we need to stick together, work together, and work with your students. And if they can afford it and they want to help you and they want to pay their full tuition, awesome. But let your students know that you're thinking about them and offer them different options. Don't act like nothing's happening and just take their full membership every month, knowing that everyone's struggling. Everyone's out of a job right now. We're not the only ones. So my thing is just really show the world kindness right now, and everyone should be helping each other out.
Yeah, and I know, Jim, you've been doing online classes and stuff like that as well. So is that something you're putting out to your students as well? We're obviously all locked in our homes at the moment, which we're not used to. So is this something that just keeps them physically and mentally active as well, something you can give to them?
Yeah, so at first, I was just going to do the YouTube classes. Yeah. But then, personally for me, I feel like anybody could watch YouTube classes, Yeah. But you don't get that personal interaction that you get when you go to a regular class. So when you're doing the live Zoom classes or Skype, as we're doing right now, right, you get that interaction that as human beings we thrive for. We want to talk to people. We're social people, and so I do Zoom classes actually 3 times a day. Once for kids and 2 for adults, and they're loving it right now. I think it's something probably though that I'll continue to do. Probably, I'll do a Zoom class on Sundays or something that I can do from home. They can do from home, and I think it's something that my students are definitely enjoying.
Yeah. So ultimately, this is something you've done. You've done throughout this sort of crisis we're in at the moment, but it's something you can then continue to do, and it will again benefit your students going forward. Yeah, I think it's definitely something that they enjoy. They get to ask me questions. They can go back and look at it, rewind it. So I get a good group every class. But like everyone, I'm sure that we're going to take some losses in memberships. It's just how it is. No matter how much the member loves to be at the gym and they want to support it, when things start going bad and people look at their bills and they see, okay, is it food this week or jiu-jitsu? I'm sure people are going to have to freeze or cancel. Thankfully, I haven't had too many of those. We're still doing good. I offered all my students a discount for the next couple of months. If they stuck with me, I gave them a discount beyond it, so not just the next 2 months, but I said, hey, if you're sticking with me now, I'm going to give you guys a discount for 6 months because, that's showing me loyalty, and I want to give back to you guys for that. Yeah, and as a gym owner, I commend you on that. I would love to see every gym doing that with their students. And I'm sure that's going to mean in the future your gym is going to continue to grow and be successful. We'd like to talk to you a wee bit about obviously your fight career. You've fought all over the world. You've fought at the highest level. A particular fight I'd like to go back to. Obviously, we're the Higher Level Podcast, which is a gym Graham Turner was based out of. A gentleman you fought in Cage Warriors. Do you recall that fight? You got the victory, submission victory. Which fight was this? Against Graham Turner.
Oh man, that was a great fight. I was campaigning for that fight big time. At the time, Graham Turner was, one of the top guys in Europe, and I knew that, I had to beat this guy. They were trying to push him, and I said, I know I can do it. He's a great guy, man. Awesome guy, but I knew that I had to get through him to make it to the next level. And I think that was my last fight before I got into the UFC.
Yeah, it was before you went into the UFC, and obviously, let's say Cage Warriors' biggest promotion in Europe, and UFC the biggest promotion in the world. When you look back at your time in the UFC, you're a guy that's known to have a fantastic ground game, but you also you like to get in there and throw hands as well. When you reflect back on your time at the UFC, what's your thoughts on your time in that promotion?
I think, some people, when they get to that top, they take it and they drive with it. And I think into the UFC, I was in just many different things, but ultimately, I don't think my mind was there. Mm-hmm. And when your mind's not there, you already lost the battle. No matter how much I tricked myself and told myself, oh, you're in the best shape of your life, this, that. I know I wasn't doing what I needed to do. I wasn't working as hard as I could have been. And definitely my mind wasn't there. It was all over the place. And it showed, and I paid for it. All my fights were either very exciting still, or I lost very close. I only had 2 losses, really. Split decision loss, and another one that was really pretty controversial. But and then I had a no contest. So bad luck in the UFC. But I believe everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for that experience.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing with the UFC. If everything's not 100% there in the UFC, it can be extremely difficult as the pinnacle of MMA. But like you say there, maybe things went right in the UFC, but you've now, first of all, I'd like to know, you've transitioned into bare knuckle boxing. You're a guy I always looked at, and everybody would speak about having a great ground game, and that was, your ground game was fantastic, but you've went into bare knuckle boxing, and so far you've been perfect in there. You seem to have found a home. So tell us about the switch to bare knuckle boxing.
Man, I've always believed that I've had good hands. If you look back at my early MMA career, I would just come at people right off the bell. Swing, 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 swing. I dropped a lot of people, right? But what would happen is that I would just use my hands so that I can take people down. Once I got their hands up, I shot in, or I made them shoot on me. And then I said, okay, now that we're on the ground, I'm comfortable. The thing is now with bare knuckle, I'm doing the same thing, but I don't have the option to take them down. So I'm just hitting them because that's the only thing I can do. And it's working. Everyone's seeing, oh man, this guy has power. He has speed. He has aggressiveness that it's hard to come by. And I'm glad that I kind of made that venture into it. It was a weird decision to go into it, but I'm glad I did.
Do you feel then do you almost feel like you're suited to bare knuckle boxing? Your results seem to show that you're suited to it because you're doing fantastic. Do you feel like you're kind of suited to bare knuckle boxing then?
What was that? Sorry,
what I'm saying is, do you feel like your style is then suited to bare knuckle boxing because you're doing so well?
Yeah, it's weird, but I've bare knuckle fought a lot when I was just a kid. We would do it for fun and we would film it. This is before I even knew about the UFC. There's a guy in America. He was a big fighter called Kimbo Slice. Yeah. He fought in the UFC and stuff, but he was a street fighter down here in Miami where I'm from. And I
think we've lost you.
Oh no.
No, I've got you. It's okay. On you go. We've got you.
we would do bare knuckle boxing in our backyard, and originally that's what I would do. And so I got hit up by the matchmaker at first, And, he's like, hey, Jim, I want to bring you into one of these bare knuckle. And at first, what they offered me, I was like, no way. That's crazy. I am not going to do it for that. And then the CEO, David Feldman, called me himself, kind of apologized for the offer that they gave me and gave me a good offer. And, I'm a smart guy, man. I've been in the game a long time. I know like what fighters are worth. I'm a matchmaker for a promotion here. And, I was like, oh man, that's good. That's UFC money.
Yeah.
And so I was like, why not? I was retired from MMA that originally. I'm retired. And, I had just opened up my gym and I was like, hey, this money could be good towards the gym. And what was awesome is that it's guaranteed. Win or lose, you're going to make the same. So you fight differently when you're guaranteed money than when you're, hey, if I win, I get this. If I lose, I don't. I think a lot of people in the UFC fight not to lose, not to win. Yeah. If you know what I mean. Like they'll win, but they're not fighting to win. They're just fighting not to lose. And I think that's how I used to be in the UFC. When I got there, I was like, oh my goodness, I just made it to here. I made it to this spot. And I didn't want to lose. And now I'm fighting with no concerns. I'm just having fun. And I say, I'm not going to change my style. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go guns blasting every time. And I'm either going to knock you out or I'll get knocked out trying, or we'll have a fight of the year like I just had with Caleb Harris.
And obviously right now it's working. So everything's going great in the promotion. What I wanted to ask as well, obviously, what's the preparation like for a bare knuckle fight versus an MMA fight where there's a lot of heavy wrestling and stuff going on? Is it less taxing on the body preparing for a bare knuckle fight?
Man, I think people think I'm crazy or that I'm lying when I say this maybe, but I just train with my students 95% of the time. I have mostly white belts, a lot of amateur fighters, and I just train with them regularly. I train jiu-jitsu. I train wrestling. I train kickboxing. I'll do the MMA with my students. And I might do mitts with my boxing coach maybe once or twice a week, 4 weeks out from a fight. Yeah. And I don't spar. I don't spar at all anymore.
So then I would think then that you're not putting your body through as much leading up to a fight. So when you're going into the fight, you're fresh and you're not injured and hurt all the time. Is that true?
Correct. So my main goal is to be able to not stop punching for 2 minutes. I don't care what's happening. I need to keep punching, be the more active fighter. So my goal now mostly is cardio, right? If I have better cardio than you, it's going to show. Yeah. Right. I may not have the power, but I kind of picked up a little bit from the Diaz bros where I hit you with volume. Right. Yeah. I'm hitting you with volume and aggressiveness, though, that it's hard for people to match. Yeah. I know that I can do 2 minutes. I know that I can do 5 2-minute rounds. I've done 5 5-minute rounds in Cage Warriors before, and I felt great. So 5 2-minute rounds, that's not too much for me. That's nothing.
So it's almost then that you're pressuring your opponent that much. They do not have a chance to breathe, and obviously cardio can be king when it comes to fighting. So you're almost smothering your opponents is what you're looking to do rather than just throw power shots and power shots.
Correct. I probably don't have the best boxing. I probably don't have the best striking there, but I'm a fighter and I'm in your face. And so far, everyone thought they had me figured out so far. Oh yeah, I can do this. Oh yeah, you're not going to do that to me. And nobody meets me in the middle. Yeah. Every single time they try to run away. So.
And look, you can't argue with results. Results at the moment are king, and your results have been perfect. Just lastly, before we let you go, what's next for you in bare knuckle? Then are we going to be looking at? Are you looking at a title next? What's the next fight you feel's there for you in bare knuckle?
So originally they had me. We're in a tournament, a 155-pound tournament. and I just won the last round, the first round, and there's supposed to be 2 more rounds, another round, and then the title round. But I know now they just had to cancel their last 2 shows. I don't know what their plan is. I'm down for super fights. I know Ross Pearson called me out on Instagram. I'd love to get in there and throw hands with him. I've trained with him a long time ago when he was getting into the Ultimate Fighter. He was at my school for 2 months.
So for you now, it's just about you seem like a man who's just enjoying himself at the moment. You're having fun in there, and would that be fair to say?
It's exactly that right now. You know, a year ago, my fight career was over. A little bit more than a year ago, I was going to focus on just my students and building new fighters. But now this new fire has been lit in me, and I'm legit just having fun. We're dancing in the back. I have my wife in my corner and 2 of my best friends, my boxing coach and my other best friend who's a big MMA promoter down here in Florida. And we have a good time. Before my fight against what's his name, the Julian Lane,
from the
we were
out.
we were out till like 1 o'clock in the morning the night before. And my cornermen were out at a bar. I was just there hanging out with them, just having a good time, being comfortable, not getting those jitters in me, you know. I hate just sitting at the hotel worrying about the fight, but I don't have that this time. And for me, I go in there and now I've just built this confidence with my hands. It could hurt me in the end. Who knows? Yeah. The new confidence. But as of now, in my mind, no one's going to go in there and be able to keep up with me. So I'm going to keep it at that and just keep having fun.
Well, Jim, you seem like a fighter who's got a smile on his face and enjoying what he's doing, and I think that ultimately means that the fans watching are getting to enjoy your fight. So, listen, I look forward to seeing you back in there, and obviously I hope all is well out in Florida. And thanks for giving us some time during this current climate of everything that's going on at the moment.
Oh, for sure, man. My pleasure.
Listen, we'd love to get you back on after your next fight and have a chat again, Jim. Again, I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
All right, sounds good. I'll see you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Now we're going straight to the phones, guys. And joining us on the phone today is the host of the Eurobash podcast, MMA Fighting Zone, Petesy Carrol. Petesy, thanks for the time today, mate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. You're saving me from monotony, basically. Isn't that what we're all living in at the moment? So, I mean, no, I'm very, very happy to be here. Thanks so much.
Well, no, that's it. We've obviously got the world's changed in the last few weeks for everybody. What's the situation like out in Ireland for you at the moment? How has things been progressing there in terms of your lockdown and all that?
It's all right. Like, I feel I'm just a bit annoyed. Like, I don't like. I'm trying my best to keep the distance and everything, and I feel like I'm walking around at night time and people aren't getting out of my way, and that's really pissing me off. Like, so I'm off onto the road, nearly trying to avoid these people walking the dog or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, it seems to be going well. But there's been a few embarrassing stories about, you know, young fellas going around coughing on people and stuff like that. Like, it's fucking crazy. What idiots! Like, it's happening a lot here. Like, I think there's been like 4 or 5 cases of that. Like, it's like, what's wrong with people? Like,
oh, did you? I don't know if you caught it online. This was down in obviously England. I think is it Tommy? He's a political guy. I think he's
Tommy Robinson, is it? Or
that is the one. Did you see the video of he was in his car and I think there was some young lads coughing on ladies and a scuffle ensued out with his car.
Jesus Christ!
So yeah,
I saw another one in New York, a lad getting battered. He's trying to cough on a lad through the doors of the subway, but then the subway stopped, so the guy got out and he was about 2 foot taller than the dude that was coughing on him, so he just KO'd him on the platform, which is pretty embarrassing for the other guy.
It's crazy. I mean, even here in Scotland, we obviously at the weekend there, I think there are beaches, not that they get used that often, where they're the same over there, but the beaches were packed, parks were packed.
The story, yeah. It's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm probably a bit over paranoid. I've got young kids, a daughter who's had issues with her chest, so I'm being a bit cautious. So I've kind of locked myself away. My biggest problem right now is potentially falling into alcoholism.
Yeah, isn't it so hard? I mean, oh my God, the first week of this, I felt like, Jesus, I'll just have a can now. Yeah, sure, look, it's 7 o'clock. It's time for a can. It just kept on happening all the time. So I stayed off from Sunday to Thursday, but I had a few cans last night. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm kind of just trying to stop the kids are keeping me away from day drinking at the moment. That's my biggest that's my biggest struggle, is just avoiding day drinking. But
if there was ever an advertisement for having kids, that is it. To stop me from being an alcoholic, I had kids.
I don't know if you've heard of this as well. There's an app. I believe it's called House Party app.
Oh yeah,
So basically the app's obviously you load it up and everybody just has a house party through the app. So I don't know. I may be tempted to have a look at that tonight or maybe tomorrow.
My missus did it last weekend when I was watching Cage Warriors, and the howls out of her. She had the best time of her life. I feel like she had a better time at one of those house party app parties than actual having a party. So I mean, that's definitely a good endorsement.
That's maybe the way we're going to be going now. Everything, we won't actually leave our homes. Everything will be done via apps and stuff like that. Yeah. It's potentially how it's going, but I mean, ultimately, there is scary prospects to this, because it's weird how global it is, and it's affecting everybody. Like even last night in the UK, I don't know if you've done anything similar. At 8 o'clock, everyone went outside their houses and sort of gave a round of applause for the NHS. That was actually quite touching to see.
It was very, very. It all came crashing home for me then. I was out on the main road here with the dog, and I was walking, and everybody came out on their balconies and started clapping, and I was like, "This is insane," you know. Like, it kind of, when you see that many people out and everybody that was walking along the road started clapping, then it was quite touching. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like, Jesus, that's really, you know, I guess it can feel like you're in a bubble sometimes, and then when you see that many people, physically see them, that many people coming out to praise the healthcare workers, it kind of shows you how the gravity of the situation. You know what I mean? Like that's never happened. I've never seen anything like that happen in Ireland before. You know, so that was really brought it crashing home to me. Anyway.
No, it's nice to see that. Nice to see that there's. So obviously we've got the idiots around the world coughing on people, but for the most part, people seem to be kind of getting together for this. Out with the crazies that are buying 55,000 rolls of toilet roll. It brings out the best and it brings out the worst in humanity.
It really does.
From what I'm seeing. And obviously, for yourself, MMA, that's ground to a halt. Last show was obviously Cage Warriors Manchester. So I'm assuming you weren't down at that show. You were just watching at home.
Oh yeah. I didn't touch that event with a barge pole in terms of being there physically, but and I felt like the real beauty of that event is we're gonna keep reminiscing about that event because it happened now, right? Like, we're gonna be like, remember they did it despite everything closing down, which probably isn't the best idea in the world, probably isn't the most responsible thing in the world, but for those few hours, I forgot this whole shit was going on. You know, it was an incredible event as well. I thought I loved the fights. I thoroughly enjoyed the fights that night, James.
Yeah. It was obviously I was looking forward to seeing Paddy back in action. There was a wee bit of a downside for me personally. Obviously, working with a higher level gym is what Shanks lost his title shot. I know that went to the wire, with Fatigue not being able to get in the country, so that was a bit bittersweet. But overall, it was a really good show. Some really fun fights. Just jump onto the Paddy fight first. Obviously, Paddy was making his return. He's had no luck whatsoever with opponent changes, pullouts, and guys missing weight. And his opponent get changed again. Decky Dalton stepped in. For me, that was a more interesting fight than the one that was booked before. What did you think of that fight once it got booked?
I knew that it would have this big reaction from Northern Ireland and the Irish. This is a fight. Like, Decky was calling out Conor McGregor when he signed for the UFC. Decky was calling out Artem when he signed for the UFC. Decky calling out Paddy Pimblett since Paddy's 18 or whatever. Like, there's definitely a story there. But when you look at the records of these guys, it's really apples and oranges. Like Decky has his biggest opportunities. He never got across the line with them. You know, with the likes of Jonathan Brookins and guys like that, he just couldn't make it happen. And Paddy's outspoken. He's polarized, and people don't like him, and that makes them that makes him be a lot more critical of what he's done in his career. Like, that fellow was a cage warriors champion when he was 21. You know what I mean? It's a different level of athlete. It's a different level of fighter to reach that level so young, and to have the fame that he had when he was so young, and have that spotlight from such a young age. Like I felt like, you know, Paddy was the obvious choice, and I could see people, all this Decky's going to get you and stuff. That actually helps Paddy. When people are building up his opponents, he doesn't even have to say anything about them, and everyone's going, "Oh, this fella's going to kill you, wait and you see," and then he just absolutely annihilates him. Like, I mean, that only helps Paddy as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was completely one-sided. You know, yes, the takedown came from Decky falling off of a kick attempt rather than being taken down, but like, I mean, Paddy's gonna give whatever you give. He's gonna take whatever you give him, and I thought he was completely dominant. Decky's a really good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but it's just apples and oranges. Like, Paddy needs to start getting the credit he deserves. What that kid did when he was such a young guy is absolutely astronomical, and I have no idea why people just constantly don't acknowledge that. Like fair enough, you don't have to like the guy, but acknowledge what he did in his fighting career. I think it's ridiculous that they don't.
Yeah, it's, in terms of the fight itself, I like to fight for Paddy. Just, it was going to garner more interest having Decky coming in, I felt. But once the fight happened, you could see it's just that old thing. There's levels, and Paddy is just levels above. And I think sometimes Paddy doesn't get commended enough for being smart in his career. He's had the opportunity to go to the UFC and said no. And at that time, it was probably the right decision, because, as you know yourself, sometimes you go into the UFC early and that's your one and only shot. And if you're not ready, it could be your last time fighting for the UFC.
And so many people don't notice that, James. Like, I mean, so many people are like, "Oh, why didn't you go? Why didn't you go?" Like, how many times have we seen guys going to the UFC, having 3 fights, and then they're so bad, like they fall so flat in their face in those 3 fights that the UFC will never call again. Like, it doesn't matter if you go in and you're wheel kicking the shit out of everyone on the regional scene for the next 5 years, you're not getting back in. Like, look at poor Brendan Loughnane. He had a competitive fight, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then he just disappeared. It's like, you know what I mean? That's how important it is to be successful when you eventually get that call up. And I think Paddy was dead right. And Paddy wasn't only dealing with the opposition at that time. He was dealing with being like one of the most famous people in Liverpool, and he was 22. I'd be dead if that was me. I'm not messing with you, man. I would be dead. They would find me in a back alley somewhere with every drug and every bit of alcohol they could find rammed into my face. Like, that is exactly what would have happened to me if that had happened to me at that age, without a doubt.
And I think the other thing to consider as well is, this isn't like boxing. You're not going to go into the UFC, and the UFC are going to, very rarely do the UFC build guys. It does happen on occasion, but usually the I think that's kind of like the coronavirus going on at the moment. Hopefully at some point we'll forget about it. But yeah, I think Paddy's probably made the right decisions, and I think he's probably, once everything's passed, he's pretty much on the road to the UFC now. I think he's at that stage in his career where it is, he's ready to make that next step. Obviously he'll get a few more fights under his belt with Cage Warriors.
Interesting on that, James. It's like, I was talking to both Mason and Paddy last week after their fights, and they seem like they're not going to fight each other. Like, obviously we know Graham with is it Intensity or Infinity? I always get them mixed up. Intensity Management, I think. He manages both of them as well as promoting them with Cage Warriors. So for his interest, he's not going to put the two of them together, because then one of them has to lose. You know, like, it's like one of them has to lose, and both of them are knocking at the door right now. So, like, just based on feeling them both out there about that, like, I mean, if there was no restrictions, I think that's absolutely the fight to make. But, you know, we saw it with Joy as well. Graham was straight out to us after Joy KO'd that UFC guy, and he was saying, "I'm not putting Mason with Joy. That doesn't make sense." Because he knows he needs a champion. He has his eyes on who's going to be the next champion already. You know what I mean? And if it's not Mason, it'll probably be Paddy, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the other thing as well, is a lot of times guys moving for Cage Warriors to the UFC, they're going to look to get the belt to then move on. But guys like Paddy, he's got such a following. The UFC takes that into consideration, because at the end of the day, it is about numbers. as well. So I don't feel Paddy needs to get the belt again to move to the UFC. I feel the opportunities will probably be there for him because the UFC have approached him before, and I don't think he's failed off their radar. Yeah, that's again, like I said earlier, that speaks to Paddy to knock that back. Not many guys would do that. A lot of guys would grab it with both hands, whether they're ready or not. So it just shows Paddy's smart about his career as well, and he seems
How
to be.
sick would it be to see him in the Reebok shorts? So
I'm looking.
I have shudders, man, thinking about that. It's just
it's not a case of if. I think it's a case of when.
Yeah.
Paddy's going to get there. He's got everything the UFC wants. He's talented. He's marketable. He's got a following. Ticks all the boxes. But the main thing is you need to see him. You don't know how guys are going to be until they get into the UFC because there's a wealth of talent in there. Obviously, there's just it's so talent depth, especially if Paddy, I don't know if he'll go 155 or go to 45. What do you think, division-wise, do you think he could get back to 45?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was like when he first moved up to 55, he was never going to do it again. But then I can remember the first time he made 55, he was like, oh no, that was really easy actually. It was like, no, I could probably kill myself a bit more. But he's probably like, I know he's on good money. Like that's been the word on the street, right, for a long time, that Paddy's on good money in Cage Warriors. Very few people are, but he is on really good money. I think he might go to 145 if he was on, say, double the money he's on. You know what I mean? And I feel like because of his following, because of his marketability, because of the traction he creates, he will be paid more than guys walking through the door on their first day in the UFC. Like I have a feeling that Jack Shore, Nathaniel Wood, a lot of these guys that came from Cage Warriors earn a lot more money than, say, your average Joe Soap who's just walking in off the street into the UFC. So I believe that's one thing that it is with Paddy as well with the UFC. There's going to be a negotiation process here. It's not going to be like, oh, here, you're on 10 and 10, go for it. Like, probably like, hang on a second, I want more than that already. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just it's a different kettle of fish altogether for him. But I do feel as though it will be 45 and they'll have to pay him to do it. And like, it's probably his best way. I don't know. Like, I mean, 55 for Paddy hasn't been awful either. Like, I mean, that fight with Sorenbach, like, Sorenbach is one of the best fighters in Europe at 55. And, like, he was all over Sorenbach for that whole first round. Even if his arm wasn't broken, even none of that shit counts. Like, even if it's just based on what happened there, Sorenbach Sorenbach was winning all those rounds, but I never felt as though it was like, he's devastating here. He's absolutely bludgeoning him to death here. Like, why isn't the referee stopping it? Like, it wasn't a very eventful fight for those next 4 rounds. Sorenbach certainly won it, but I wasn't like, here, this Paddy Pimblett lad is absolutely shite. You know what I mean? That never, like, but to get Sorenbach that close to a submission with his grappling prowess, I think that's commendable, to be honest.
Yeah, and obviously we saw him back as well. It's just that's his style. That is that grinding style. It's not the most pleasing to watch for a lot of people. We saw what he did to Terry Brazier. Obviously, Terry wasn't too happy with it after it. But
what about that entrance from Terry Brazier that night? That's scarred into my memory, mate.
Mate, it's like that one was Adesanya's was pretty good. I'm not big on these type of entrances. I like guys just coming out to a good tune.
I like Adesanya's as well. Yeah, because it was like I was there at that. That was unbelievable in Melbourne. But then I was at Terry Brazier's, and I can remember I just turned around and I looked at Media Row, and everybody's mouth was wide open, just staring at them. No one had ever seen anything like it in their life. You know what I mean?
It's how Bellator does it. Bellator can be jaw-dropping at times, not always for the best reasons.
It was like he was whipping 8 lads or something on the way to the cage. It was a very daunting and intimidating entrance, I thought, for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah. I think maybe Terry might chalk that one up to a one-off and maybe go back to just actually 1 foot in front of the other and walking out. We've tried that one, it didn't work, so move on.
I'm not afraid to take chances.
Well, that's it. The other thing, just moving off Cage Warriors, I wanted to quickly chat to you about is Mr. Jonathan Jones back in the headlines. All the wrong reasons again. The more that's come out about this, the worse it seems to me. So first thing is he was on social media a few days back talking about the importance of staying indoors and treating the coronavirus, COVID-19, very seriously. but then takes a drive in a car, drunk, gun there, everything. What do you think? This is just, it looked like he was on the right tracks, and now it just seems like, can this guy actually keep his head straight?
Yeah, look, he clearly has problems. It's like the UFC have, I think they've tried to kind of deal with this, but obviously not trying hard enough. He's got serious issues. He laughs this stuff off when we say it to him at press conferences and when media ask him about this. But this guy's got a serious issue here. You don't get caught for this kind of thing so many times without actually being a real problem in your life. I feel very, very sorry for him in some ways, that he obviously has this problem that he can't shake. But I think that you have to vacate him. You have to pull the title from him now. You can't let him think that this is acceptable behavior. In the long run, I think he gets away scot-free because what has this guy can do anything. He can get in a car crash with a pregnant woman. He can fail as many drug tests as you want, and he's still going to be put in the most prominent places, put in the main events. Like the UFC just don't deal with this stuff very well. It's not like they care about ethical issues all that much. Like look at their response to coronavirus. This is a worldwide pandemic. Everybody is basically acknowledging that we're all going to lose some money here. We're all going to have to take a few steps back. And Dana White's talking about it like it's a terrorist taking away his freedom. We're not going to let this thing stop us. No, that's exactly what you have to do, Dana. You lunatic. That is exactly what you have to do. And so, in the grand scheme of things, if they have this thing that's killing the world and they don't want to do anything for that, what does it matter if they found John Jones has got another DUI and he's probably taking drugs again? They don't give a they don't care. I think you got to vacate him because every other sport in the world would suspend someone who was caught in a situation like this, or at least I think they would in theory. So I think you got to do it. Again, I'm looking at this from the UFC's point of view now. If I'm John Jones, I'm very worried. I'm honestly very worried. And at this stage in his career, where he isn't looking the most convincing, and this stuff is going down, and there was rumors that he was out for the Super Bowl before his last fight and stuff. You're in danger. You're in danger of ruining your legacy. Any other sport, he'd probably already have his legacy ruined. It's just in MMA, for some reason, it's all right to take drugs and stuff like that. All these, I say this to my American colleagues all the time. I don't know shit about baseball, but I know Barry Bonds is a drug cheat. So that's all I know. I don't know shit about cycling. I know Lance Armstrong is a drug cheat. If John Jones hasn't entered that terrain in our sport, because this is all so new to us, we're willing to forgive all the time. How many people has this happened to? It's happened to a ridiculous amount of people. And then you also have the element of doubt that USADA have cast by just basically being shit at doing their jobs. We have Sean O'Malley, this great prospect. 2 years of his career has been ruined. And then you also have USADA just allowing Brock Lesnar to mosey on in out of his face and fight Mark Hunt. You know what I mean? While this stuff is going on, they also knew that Vitor Belfort would fail a drug test before he fought John Jones back in the day. So what kind of message are they sending these athletes? It's a bit of a clusterfuck if you ask me. But I don't think we should expect the UFC to be very heavy-handed here. I think the vacation is likely, but mostly I'm just worried about John Jones. This is one of the greatest fighters ever in our sport, and he clearly can't get his shit together, and he clearly is struggling with substance abuse issues as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much clear. I think at this stage he's tarnished his reputation. And but
do you agree with me? Doesn't it feel different in MMA for some reason? They get away with it more in our sport, I feel. I don't feel as though am I too close to the sport here? Do I say to someone who doesn't follow MMA, who watches the Premier League or whatever, oh, John Jones, and they're drug cheat? Is that what they think? I don't know.
It depends how you're looking at it from my point of view. If you're speaking to the average fan in the street, you'll find that they'll be a bit more lenient. But obviously, like I say, I speak to a lot of fighters. I'm in gyms. I'm speaking to guys for the people that are close to the sport. They don't let it slide. I think they're opinionated, and I know a lot of guys who say they just disregard anything John's done.
Well,
because of the issues outside the cage and the issues with USADA and stuff like that. So I think you'll find that some fans that are in maybe watch the sport from afar let everything slide, but the people that are really close to it, maybe your hardcore fans, a lot of them won't forget and forgive. But it's the way it is. I think John now is at a point where, like you say, his performances recently I don't think have been great. I feel like he's losing a bit of a step going forward, and I don't know if that's substance abuse catching up with him, maybe not training as hard or as much as he should have in the past. But I think this could potentially be the end of John Jones's career, because he's not getting better. He puts on a front, it seems like, for the media, for people outside, but I think behind closed doors he's certainly got some problems, and with substance abuse problems and being an athlete, that catches up with you.
Yes.
Eventually. So I think with Mr. John Jones, that's where we're at the moment. I mean, you kind of lose a wee bit. You do feel sorry for him, but you also lose a bit of respect for him as well. Especially when you think if that was other fighters in the UFC's roster, they would axe that fighter instantly. But because John's one of their bigger sellers, they keep him on. And we've seen similar situations where the UFC will change their rules to suit, obviously, Conor is an example of that. And like you say, Brock Lesnar, I remember interviewing Mark Hunt. We managed to meet up with him in Glasgow, and he went off in one in a cafe. I was like, oh Christ, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned Brock Lesnar here. I could be getting thrown out this cafe. But the UFC are very, very loosey-goosey with the rules, depending on who you are and what your status is in the company.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, Conor can basically like do anything, and they'd just be like, "This is a great thing that he just did." It's like they don't care. They just it's wild. Like, do you know how much like that whole Habib fight thing that like literally tarnished the sport in this country? Like, we're still recovering from it. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, the whole dolly thing and the whole the prejudice and whatnot that was thrown around in the lead up to the fight. Like, it's absolutely mental. And like, it's hard to even argue with people who criticize the sport when they see shit like that. Like, it's just like, all right, yeah, no, you have me there.
It's stuff like that. It's not a good look, because although the UFC is a young sport, and I don't know, I can speak for what it's like in Scotland. Scotland football dominates everything, especially the two teams in Glasgow. So with the UFC and MMA, it's not quite caught on here yet. We've not had a Conor McGregor or anything like that yet, or so far. So we've not had that. He was a result of a boom in Ireland, obviously, when he came along. So when people see stuff like that, especially when local newspapers print it, it's not great. And also, one thing, I don't know if you've had this. I've done a few spots for the BBC in the past, and for example, the Conor Cerrone fight, I was called to come on and talk about the fight, but then I discovered they actually didn't want to speak to me at all about the fight. They were only interested in Conor McGregor's legal issues. Yeah. So you're sort of dealing with that over here with the mainstream media.
We can't even, there's some stuff we can't even talk about over here, which is the most frustrating thing, because then people are getting onto you like, oh, why aren't you talking about this? I'm like, well, because it's illegal. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, it's very frustrating. Like, I feel, our hands have been tied a lot with Conor, and it hasn't helped us. Like, I don't mind talking about the legal issues, because, that's his fault. It's not my fault that he did that. Like, that's not my, it's not my fault that he's being investigated for this and that. It just isn't. So, if you, look, I have a feeling there is people in Conor's camp that get upset with us because we have to talk about this, but that's my job. Like, that's what I'm doing. So I can't really. What do you want me to say about it? Like, I have not done these things. I am reacting to him doing these things. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I can do.
Well, that is, like you say, it's your job. It's basically the job of a journalist to comment on what's happening in the chosen field you work in.
They have a very hard time grasping that, some of these fighters. Believe me, they have a horrific time. But yeah, look, it is what it is. Sorry, bud?
Just one last thing I wanted to finish up on before I need to run and try and catch the children at some point. So Khabib, Tony, the UFC are still adamant it goes ahead. I really, really want to see this fight, but I just don't know if this is the right look for the sport. Give me your take on that.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to do it. Like, I think Dana's turned it into a complete ego battle now. Like he doesn't realize that when we're saying like, oh, you shouldn't do this, we're talking about the social, ethical reasons to not do a sport. He actually thinks we're saying you can't do it, Dana, and he's like, I'll show you that I can do it. And we're like, no, I believe you. I believe that you can do it, but you shouldn't do it. Like that's what we're trying to tell you. I think that he's missed what people are trying to say here completely. He doesn't even think this is that bad of a situation, as far as I'm concerned. Like he thinks this is going to be over in a couple of weeks, and we're all overreacting. I'm more on the cautious side of things, I have to say, but it's probably going to happen. Like I don't know how the hell they're going to do it. It's going to have a 30 for 30 made about it someday, I believe. But it's absolutely insane. It really is. It's one of the most insane things. This sport is full of insane stories, but this is one of the most mental, I think. The fact that does it go on? Like, basically, when after Conor fought Cerrone, right, he was sitting there telling us, this is the biggest fight in the world. And we're all going, is it? Really? Like, does this become the biggest fight in the world if it happens under these circumstances? And basically, everybody else in the world is looking for something to watch, if you get me.
Yeah, but the problem is as well, though, I think the issue of morality. I think when you look at fight promoters, past tense and current fight promoters, morality is not normally something you associate with them. It could do really good numbers just because a lot of people have nothing else to watch. But you may also get a lot of people that just simply don't want to tune into it because they don't believe it should happen. We won't know, I guess, until it does happen, which I agree with you. I think it will. I really want to see the fight, and I'll definitely watch it if it happens. But I'll watch it. I'll stand on my moral soapbox while I watch it.
Yeah, I feel like such a hypocrite, you know? Like, I really do. Like, this whole thing is making me feel like a hypocrite. Like, I mean, I felt like they put Leon Edwards in a horrific situation with UFC London. Yeah. The fact that he had to come out and say, oh, well, I'm not fighting now. Yeah, because you'd be putting your fucking family at risk. Of course you aren't. Like, and then it looks like he's after cancelling this event. It looks like he's after costing all these people money and time and effort. And I thought that was complete bullshit. And then then Cage Warriors is going ahead. And I'm like, Graham Boylan's on the phone telling me, well, nobody's getting paid if this event doesn't happen. I'm like, shit, well, then we need the event to happen. You know, it's like, I don't, like, once I rang a few fighters, and they were like, yeah, I don't care. I was like, all right. I didn't think it was ideal, but it's making me feel like a hypocrite. You getting that as well? Like, I don't really, it was insane. Like, the fact that, you know, like, Dana's carrying on, like, if this Khabib and Tony fight happens, it's basically, like, he's acting like that's the cure for coronavirus. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the way that Graham was about Cage Warriors as well. But I mean, this is a fucking mad sport. Like, this is where this sport exists. It can't exist in the mainstream, and it doesn't exist in the underground either. So it has to occupy this grey area between both of them, and I think this coronavirus is a perfect example of it.
You're absolutely, it is. It's a mad sport, and it's probably one of the reasons I love it. I love going to local shows. I've seen many times fighters winning their fight in a local show, then going outside and winning their second fight in the street. It's a crazy sport, and it is not for everyone. But there you go. But listen, I won't keep you any longer, Petesy. I appreciate you coming on having a chat with us.
Anytime, man.
I wish you well trying to find content in the future because it's certainly running dry. John Jones has stepped up to the plate, so maybe Connor's turn next.
Come on, Connor. You've bailed me out of many a hole in the past.
Listen, Petesy, again, I appreciate the time, mate, and thanks very much for coming on having a chat with us.
Thank you, and I hope you continue to keep the kids occupied. I imagine it's starting to get creative up there at the moment, is it?
Yeah. We'll see what happens today. I don't know. We'll need to find something. I'm running out of ideas, but I'll come up with something and just make sure I stay off the alcohol for at least one day.
One day is the goal. Yeah, that's for me too. All right, man. Talk to you soon. Right?
Talk to you soon, mate. Bye.
All the best. Bye.